Listen carefully because what I'm about to tell you took me 106 years to fully understand, but you don't need to wait that long. My name is Sal and I've buried more people I love than most folks will ever meet. I've lost everything twice, started over 3 times, and spent more nights crying than I care to count. Yet here I sit telling you that I am genuinely deeply happy, not because life was easy, not because I got lucky, but because of one decision I made over and over again, every single morning for the past 75 years. People always want to know the secret to living past 100. They ask about olive oil, red wine, whether I walk 5 miles a day or do yoga or take special vitamins. And I tell them the truth, though most don't want to hear it. The secret isn't in a bottle or a routine. The secret is this: joy is a choice you make every single day, and most people never make it. They're waiting for joy to happen to them, like it's going to show up at their door one morning with flowers and an apology for being late. It doesn't work that way. Joy is something you decide on, not something that happens to you. You think I don't know hard times? Let me tell you about hard times. My mother died coughing blood into a rag when I was 5 years old. Tuberculosis took her in 3 months, turned a strong woman into a whisper, then into nothing. I still remember the sound of her trying to breathe those last days, like drowning on dry land. My father couldn't look at me afterward because I had her eyes. 3 years later, we got on a boat to America with $40 sewn into my father's coat and not one word of English between us. We lived in a room the size of a closet with 6 other people, 2 families sharing one bathroom down the hall. The smell of that place, I can still recall it. Unwashed bodies, boiled cabbage, desperation. You could taste the desperation in the air. By the time I was 10, I was working alongside my father making shoes in a factory. My hands were so small I could barely hold the tools, but I learned. I had to. We worked 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, and my fingers would crack and bleed from the leather and the chemicals. At night, my father would wrap them in cloth strips and tell me this was the price of the American dream. Some dream, I thought, but I didn't complain. Complaining doesn't make your fingers heal any faster. I grew up, I learned the trade. By the time I was 21, I had my own small shop. By 25, I'd saved enough to marry Anna Maria, the most beautiful woman who ever walked past my window. She had this laugh like music, like everything good in the world had been concentrated into one sound. We had 2 Bobbies, a boy and a girl. I thought I'd figured life out. I thought the hard part was over. Then one Tuesday morning, Anna Maria said she had a headache. By Tuesday night, she was gone. Brain aneurysm, the doctor said, 28 years old. One minute she was folding laundry, humming that song she always hummed. The next minute she was on the floor and I was screaming for help that came too late. I was 31 years old, a widower with a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old who kept asking when mama was coming home. I want you to understand something. That kind of loss, it doesn't just hurt, it rewrites you. It changes the actual structure of who you are. For 6 months I was so angry I could barely see straight. Angry at God, angry at the doctors, angry at Anna Maria for leaving me, angry at myself for being angry at her. My kids would tiptoe around me like I was a bomb that might go off any second, and I was. Then one night my daughter Maria, she was 7, came into my room crying. She said she was sorry. I asked her what she was sorry for and she said she thought she'd done something to make me so mad all the time. She thought it was her fault her mother died. And right then something broke in me, or maybe something finally healed. I realized I had a choice. I could stay angry, let this anger turn me into someone Anna Maria wouldn't recognize, someone who scared his own children. Or I could choose to be different. That's lesson 1, and don't you forget it. Hard times don't have to make you hard, you get to choose what shape they give you. The same heat that melts butter also hardens steel, you decide which one you're going to be. I made a choice that night. I decided I was going to honor Anna Maria by being the man she fell in love with, the man she thought I was, not this angry ghost haunting my own house. I decided I was going to be a father who brought joy to his children, not more sadness on top of what they'd already lost. Was I still sad every single day? Did I still miss her every single breath? But I chose not to let that sadness be the only thing my children remembered about that time. Now some of you watching this, you're going through something hard right now. Maybe you lost someone, maybe you lost your health, your job, your marriage, your purpose. Maybe you're sitting there thinking, easy for this old man to talk about choosing joy when his hard times are 70 years behind him. But I'm telling you this right now, the hard times are when the choice matters most. When everything is easy, anyone can smile. It's when everything is falling apart that your choice to find joy becomes an act of defiance, of courage, of survival. You're allowed to feel the pain, feel it fully, don't run from it. But after you've felt it, you have to decide what comes next. Nobody can make that decision for you, not your family, not your friends, not your therapist, not your pastor. Only you get to choose whether pain makes you bitter or better. I kept choosing better. I raised those kids by myself for nearly 40 years. I never remarried, never even dated. Working kids, that was my life. The shoe shop kept us fed, kept a roof over our heads. I poured everything into it, every hour, every dollar, every bit of skill I had. Then when I was 58, the shop burned down. Electrical fire, they said, 26 years of building something gone in 4 hours. I stood there watching it burn, smoke stinging my eyes, and you know what I thought? Here we go again. But this time I didn't get angry. I was too tired to be angry. I just started over. Found a new location, borrowed money, rebuilt. Because what else are you going to do? Lay down and quit? That's not living, that's just waiting to die, and I wasn't ready to die yet. Years went by, my kids grew up, moved away, had kids of their own. I worked, I slept, I worked some more. I was 70 years old, alone in a too-quiet apartment, and I'd convinced myself this was just how life was going to be until it ended. Then one Sunday in 1990 I went to a church potluck. You want to know why I went? The lasagna. They had good lasagna at that church, and I was tired of eating soup by myself. I'm standing there with a plate, trying to decide between the lasagna and the baked ziti when I hear this laugh. Not a polite little church lady laugh. A real laugh, the kind that comes from deep in your belly, the kind that makes other people smile just hearing it. I look over and there's this woman, must have been 60-something, telling some story with her hands waving everywhere, and she's got half the room laughing with her. That was Gloria. Gloria Washington, a retired nurse, 62 years old, black as midnight, loud as thunder, and more alive than anyone I'd met in 40 years. I walked over, introduced myself, and she looked at me, this little old Italian man with his plate of pasta, and she said, "You got sauce on your chin, baby." Then she wiped it off with a napkin like we'd known each other our whole lives. We started talking, then we started meeting for coffee. Then coffee turned into dinner, dinner turned into movies, movies turned into holding hands, and one day I realized I was happy. Actually, genuinely happy at 70 years old for the first time since Anna Maria died. My son Enzo, he didn't speak to me for 2 years when I told him about Gloria. 2 years, a black woman, he said. What would mama think? What will people say? And I told him something I should have understood decades earlier. This is lesson 2, stop caring what people think. Other people's opinions, they only hurt you if you let them. They're like rain. You can stand there and get soaked, or you can go inside where it's dry, your choice. People talked about us, oh they talked. An old Italian widower and a black nurse walking hand in hand through Brooklyn in 1990. We got stares, we got comments, we even got threats. And you know what Gloria said? She said, "Baby, we're both too old and too tired to live our lives trying to make other people comfortable." She was right. We had 33 years together, Gloria and me. 33 years of laughter, of arguing about whose coffee was better, of sitting on the porch not saying anything because we didn't need to. She died last year at 95 in her sleep, holding my hand. I'm 106, and I've now buried 2 women I loved more than my own life. You'd think that would break me, wouldn't you? Losing love twice, watching it die in front of you twice. But here's what I learned. I miss Gloria every single day. There are mornings I wake up and reach for her before I remember she's gone, but I choose to keep laughing because that's what she would want. I choose to keep finding joy in the small things because that's what she taught me to do. Which brings me to lesson 3, and this is the one most people miss their entire lives. Happiness is right here, right now, in the things you already have. It's not waiting for you at the next job, the next relationship, the next house, the next achievement. It's in your morning coffee. It's in the way the light comes through your window. It's in your granddaughter calling to say hi. It's in good bread warm from the oven. It's in music that reminds you of better days. It's in a soft bed when you're tired. It's in a stranger who smiles at you for no reason. I spent so much of my life chasing things I thought would make me happy. More money, a bigger shop, respect, security. And you know what? I could have been just as happy the whole time if I just paid attention to what I already had. The problem is most people don't see it. They're so busy looking ahead, looking for the next thing that's going to finally make them happy, that they completely miss the happiness that's sitting right in front of them. Let me ask you something. After you finish watching this video, I want you to sit down just for 5 minutes and I want you to think of 3 things you're grateful for right now. Not things you wish you had, things you have. Maybe it's a pet that loves you. Maybe it's a body that still works well enough to get you through the day. Maybe it's a friend who checks on you. Maybe it's just the fact that you can take a deep breath without it hurting. Write them down, say them out loud, feel them. Because gratitude, it's like a muscle, you have to exercise it or it gets weak. And most people have let their gratitude muscle get so weak they can't even recognize happiness when it's right in front of them. They're waiting for something big, something dramatic, something worthy of posting about. Meanwhile, real happiness is happening in the quiet moments they're ignoring. I've lost my mother, my first wife, my shop, and my second wife. I've worked until my hands bled. I've started over from nothing more than once. I've been judged, talked about, threatened, and abandoned by my own son for years. And yet here I sit at 106, not bitter, not angry, not defeated, but grateful. Every morning I wake up, I thank God for one more day, and I ask myself what I'm going to do with it. That's the secret. That's what I've been trying to tell you this whole time. You choose joy, you choose gratitude, you choose to see the beauty even when everything around you is ugly. You choose to laugh even when you want to cry. You choose to love even when you're afraid of losing again. You choose every single day to live instead of just exist. My mother told me something when I was very small before the sickness took her. She said, Salvador, life is beautiful if you look at it right. I didn't understand what she meant for about 90 years, but now I do. Life isn't perfect. Life is full of pain and loss and disappointment and heartbreak, but it's also full of bread and sunlight and laughter and love. It's beautiful and terrible all at once, and you get to decide which one you focus on. I'm 106 years old. I don't know how much time I have left. Could be a day, could be a year, could be 5 more years, doesn't matter. What matters is that however long I have, I'm going to choose to be happy. I'm going to choose to find joy in my morning coffee and my afternoon nap and the sound of birds outside my window. I'm going to choose to remember Anna Maria and Gloria with smiles instead of tears. I'm going to choose to forgive my son and love my grandchildren and be kind to strangers. Because the alternative is to be miserable, and I've tried that. Doesn't suit me, doesn't suit anyone really. Misery is just wasted time, and time is the one thing you can never get back. So here's what I need you to do. Stop waiting. Stop waiting for things to get better, for the perfect moment, for permission, for proof that it's going to work out. Stop waiting for happiness to find you. Go find it, choose it. Decide that today, right now, you're going to look for the joy that's already in your life. Decide that the hard things you've been through don't get to define you unless you let them. Decide that other people's opinions don't matter more than your own peace. Decide that you're going to honor the time you have left, however much that is, by actually living it instead of just surviving it. I'm telling you this because I love you, whoever you are watching this. I love you because you're human and you're struggling and you're looking for answers just like I did for most of my life. And the answer is simpler than you think. Choose joy, choose it when it's easy and choose it when it's hard. Choose it when you're young and choose it when you're old. Choose it when you're alone and choose it when you're surrounded by people. Just choose it. Because one day you'll be my age if you're lucky, and you'll look back at your life. And you'll either see a string of days you actually lived, full of laughter and love and purpose, or you'll see a string of days you just got through waiting for something that never came. I'm begging you, don't waste your days waiting. Don't waste your joy saving it for later. Later might not come. All you have is now, right now, this moment. What are you going to choose to do with it? If this resonated with you, if any part of this helped you see things differently, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Your friend who's going through a divorce, your parent who's struggling with retirement, your child who's overwhelmed with life. Share it because choosing joy is easier when you know you're not choosing it alone. Subscribe to this channel if you want more conversations like this, more real talk about life and aging and finding meaning in the mess. Leave a comment telling me one thing you're grateful for right now, just one thing. Help each other remember that there's still so much beauty left to see, and most importantly, go live, actually live. Choose joy, choose it now while you still can.